application of it is really important. I want to switch gears here since we have 8 minutes left and move on to a last few bit of things, if that's all right. Unless anybody else has any last comments on that whole discussion, knowing that we're going to come back to it. Okay, so great. So in 8 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and skip the little model builder demo I was going to show. I'm going to summarize what I was going to show in a couple, in about a minute, and then go from there. Let me just start with that. What I was going to show in the model builder demo are two different things that came up in the last couple of weeks by different people, applying it and using it. The first is, as soon as you start building some tools and doing things on your own, you're going to get to the point where a lot of times you'll be building a tool, run it, and then it's working, and then you'll add a few things to that output, and it will be working, and you'll save it all, and it will work fine. And then you go ahead and send it to somebody, and it doesn't work. And one of the biggest reasons for that is that Model Builder requires the inputs of every single command to exist before it will run. And it's not smart enough to say, oh wait, okay, this input doesn't exist yet, but it's going to exist when I implement all the commands before this command. It doesn't do that. It just says, all right, here's 100 commands that I'm going to run, and I need, it needs 100 inputs, and all 100 of those inputs need to exist right now, otherwise I'm not going to start. And so a workaround until they figure out how to program that into it is just simply go ahead and make dummy data layers for all those inputs. It doesn't matter what the values are, because they're going to be overwritten by the time it gets to that step. So that's the summary of what I was going to show. It might not make sense the way I said it quickly, but when you get to that problem, you'll say, oh, what was Gallo talking about? And so just give me a call or post a question on the user forum. That would actually be the best. And the second quick topic was that on the SDSS that's posted, there's two preliminary steps that you need to run before you can run the whole model. And just so it's clear what those are doing, the first step is taking data from what's called the sample data folder and putting that into the inputs data folder. And there's a big justification for that, but we don't need to go into that. That's the bottom line. And then once it's in the inputs data folder, then the whole model can work. The first step of the model is to go ahead and make all those dummy data layers. So it just takes, I think it takes one of the input layers. I think region is 0 or region is 1. Basically, every single cell in the region has a value of 1, and it copies that layer and pastes it as a renamed layer in the appropriate folder that is going to be the input for a particular model later on. Now that input will get overwritten before it actually gets used. So I apologize if that doesn't make sense. If it does make sense, give me a call or email me offline. And but those are the two big things I wanted to convey. There's much more, obviously. So, and then also along the lines of getting your hands dirty and getting in there and doing the model builder and building some things, let's see, Tom, looks like Tom has joined us. Tom, are you there?
Uh-huh.
All right, great. I hear from, Tom mentioned briefly that he had a chance to do the tutorial. That I gave the link to the tutorial. Tom, do you mind giving a quick 20-minute or 20-second or 30-second overview of
I'll keep it to 15 minutes.
of how you found that tutorial, and were you able to find it and use it and things like that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just right on. You can just do a search on the ESRI website for Model Builder training or Model Builder tutorial, and it's about 60 minutes long. It's it's sort of stem to stern. Starts out for the person who's never seen Model Builder, and works its way through, adds adds complexity as you go. I think by the end, I felt like I was, able to get in and start building some rudimentary models. I understand the obviously the symbology of Modelbuilder, and only drawback, of course, is that there isn't a section for you to sort of pause and do a module yourself and then come back and check your answers. I think that would be a nice addition, where you could download some data and work with the seminar. But it was great.
There may be two tutorials out there. So
oh, is that right?
I'll talk with you offline and see which one you had, and I'll send out both links on a summary email if there are two, indeed.
Okay. The one that I did was a 60-minute video, and
okay.
Yeah. So
great. Yeah. So it sounds like there are two. Well, that's great. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, this is Ann. I used the other one, and I found it really useful.
Okay.
You could pause it.
The other one that you found was one where you actually had a chance to download data and do it on your own machine, pause it and do that. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay.
Right. So both of them exist. I'll try. I will. Yeah, Tom, if you could email me the link to the one you found, and I'll put that on the site as well as Ann's. And that brings me to that website itself. We're still figuring out where to put things for everybody. If anybody has comments on how to make it more usable, user-friendly, please let me know. And then also know that we're going to try and get together a group of people that are going to meet once a month on a webinar, hopefully at Wednesday at 9 on the off weeks when we're not having this webinar, to be talking about this whole idea of gathering around the water cooler, the virtual water cooler, so to speak, how to streamline online collaboration and just the whole process. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and then we'll go from there. And I think we probably don't have time now to have a phone conversation about future presentations before we allow everybody to log off quickly. So we'll have that online, and we'll follow that up online. And I think what we'll do is just have a minute here for anybody else to chime in any other comments, and then when we're done, we'll allow everybody that needs to go, and then we'll stay on if there's anybody else that wants to continue the discussion. So any last-minute thoughts or comments from anybody? Okay. Well, great. Well, thanks, everybody, for making it. We will reconvene in 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and send out I'm going to try and send out an updated GoToMeeting invite that has all the different meetings, maybe the next 5 or 6 or something like that, scheduled in. I'm not sure how long we want to continue doing this. Once we're all up and running, we might not need to do it anymore. We'll see, but we might really like it. So we're going to skip the week after Christmas, and so but basically 2 weeks, every 2 weeks from here on out, except for that week after Christmas. So there will be a 3-week period right there. All right, thanks everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right.
Thanks, John.
Bye-bye. Yep. Thanks. Bye.